Welcome back to the continuing adventures of the members of the Florida Powerboat Club, and this time they are on the signature Key West Offshore Poker Run celebrating 25 years, presented by Mercury Racing with grand prize from off-lease only. This is Stu Jones, and we're going into segment 4 with the feature coverage of this signature event. Last time we were with you, we were with the group of boats heading down through Miami and heading into Biscayne Bay on the Thursday run heading towards Key Largo. We had picked up a card at Grove Harbor, and we got back out on the waterways, and we were showcasing this incredible mix of awesome high-performance powerboats of all descriptions. So our mission today here is to put you guys up here in the seat of this R-44 helicopter so you can get a bird's eye view of the high-speed action as we join the Thursday run for the Florida Powerboat Club's Key West Offshore Poker Run as we head further to Key Largo, and our destination is Key West for the Offshore World Championship Superboat races. And we couldn't get off to a better start than with this introduction of Tony DeWall, who is running this 40-foot skater called Double D, which is owned by his buddy Don Doty from Michigan. We're running with these fast front runners here in the pack as we catch up with Brad Hancock in this Nortec 477 SBX twin Mercury Racing 1350s, making it one fast V-bottom. I remember when we saw this boat making its debut right here on the Key West Poker Run about 4 years ago. We made it the official pace boat, and I got a chance to ride in this incredible offshore V-bottom. And it's family day for Mark and Nancy Tuck from Virginia. They're in their 44 Outer Limits, powered by Mercury Racing 1075s. Mark said in his bio that he had his wife and 2 daughters on board, and it was the perfect crew. Now let's welcome Ed and Amy LaGuardia all the way from New York with this 32-foot Doug Wright cat. These cats are getting very popular on poker runs, especially with the new 400Rs. So he's got a pair of these Mercury Verado 400s. Loves the boat, and they like to do a lot of family boating. Keep the boat at Hollow Marine Center, and they plan to come down every other weekend during the winter months. Here's a crew all the way from Texas, Ken Milstead, representing Skater with strong numbers, altogether 24 skaters on this event. Ken and Faye got interested in the club by going to the Emerald Coast Poker Run, and then more recently made it their way down here to Key West. I love this boat. I love the graphics and the paint job. What a beautiful looking skater. 40 foot with Mercury Racing 1075s. And here's a boat that we've seen on Florida Powerboat Club events quite a bit over the last 3 or 4 years. And it's amazing that it really happened so fast. I think it has actually been 4 years since Mark and Eileen Fisher built this Nortec 527 Twin Mercury Racing 1350s. And it's also kind of unusual to see just 3 guys on the boat. Normally, you're going to see 8, 10, 12 people on the boat and going about 100 miles an hour. I've spent a lot of time on this Nortec 527 with the Fishers. It is a great running machine. It really is the top of the food chain in the Nortec high performance world. They do make a bigger boat. It's an 80, but this one here really was the only one like it. And now that Mark owns Deep Impact in Blackwater, I don't know if we're going to see this boat around much longer. I know he's got it for sale. And here's a long-term supporter and veteran of this event, Michael Alexander from New York. This 32-foot skater with triple Mercury outboards has been a fixture on this event for as long as I can remember, and probably as long as he can too. I want to say it goes back to about 99, maybe 2000, so for about 17 or 18 years we've seen this boat on Florida Powerboat Club events. And it's always good to see new blood in the Florida Powerboat Club and to welcome our newcomers. This team, Jerry and Charmaine Benish, is all the way from Michigan, and Team Drink About It. I love the team name. 39-foot cigarette Top Gun Mercury Racing 700s. I'm assuming NXT1 drives. Hey gang, that is the ideal poker run boat. Stepped bottom, beautiful graphics, and plenty of power when you need it. You'll get up to 100 miles an hour in no time at all. But they're just cruising today because I know they're enjoying the scenic ride through Biscayne Bay. And here is a 52-foot MTI, one that we've seen before, formerly owned by John Rosati, now owned by Asbjorn and Abe Abramson. They're Europeans who spent a lot of time in Florida. Mercury Racing 1350s, beautiful paintwork, a nice comfortable cockpit, and obviously have all the power they need to get up to 135, 140 whenever they decide to. But today they're just chilling out, enjoying the ride on their very first Florida Powerboat Club Poker Run event. Now we're joining one of our sponsor teams. This is Performance Boat Center. Brett Menier at the helm of this 36 Wright Performance with Twin Mercury Racing 400Rs. And this 36-foot cat is an exclusive model to Performance Boat Center at Lake of the Ozarks. And there is a scenic landmark. That's the Cart Sound Bridge, which indicates the boats are leaving Biscayne Bay and going into Barnes Sound, and which means we're getting really close to our next stopover in Key Largo at Gilberts. And it's obvious the weather is continuing to be beautiful as we catch up with Dwayne and Wendy Hall. I'm sure they're very happy because they came all the way from Ohio, trailered the boat down for their very first time. 38-foot cigarette with Twin Mercury Racing 5 1/4. We got some great photos of this boat, and I don't think they realized at the time, but we decided to put this picture in the 2018 FPC 25th anniversary calendar. Now let's say hi to George and Kerry Olson, all the way from Texas. They've been on this run many times, but in many different boats too. This is a 42-foot Fountain 2006 model, powered by Mercury Racing 525 EFIs. This is a very popular paint job on fountains back in the 05-06 era. I've seen this paint job on a lot of boats, and it's always colorful and bright. And that gives the girls a chance to match with their bikinis. Look at this. You go, Kerry. And speaking of bikinis, well, you know Jim Lee's always going to have bikinis on his boat, and he's got himself a new 39 cigarette. He calls it the SIG. Triple Mercury 350 Verados, fully equipped with 4 bikinis in the front seat. I gotta like that, Jim. Always has a great looking crew and a very spirited crew. That's because he loves boating, loves to have a good time, and he's got a ton of boating friends. Of course, he decided to leave the skater back in the barn. He's got 2 skaters, another cigarette, and a big boat. He can only drive one at a time though, so he decided for the Key West Poker Run it was going to be this 39 cigarette. And another newcomer to the event, Brandon Horrocks from New York and his 42-foot Fountain Lightning. Loved the paint and graphics. Team Lucky Sixes, first time here. Thanks for joining us, guys. Sean and Mary Harrington from Massachusetts. Team Water Witch, 37-foot Outer Limits Stiletto model. These were one of the first of the Outer Limits line when they first were built by Montefiore back in the late 90s. So obviously this one's been restored and it looks great. And another center console, and this one a 36-foot Deep Impact and a veteran of the Key West Poker Run. David Sacker and his crew are always a very spirited team. When I say veterans, I want to say they've been doing this event at least 7 or 8 years, but good to have you guys back. And helping to keep those skater numbers really strong, the roster now of 24 boats is Chris and Jennifer Miller. It reports them as being from Florida, but I believe they're from out west, either Colorado or Arizona. A 40-foot skater with a Mercury Racing 1350s. What a great package and what a pretty boat. And now our first shots here of Gilberts in Key Largo, and just looking over on the other side of the bridge in Jewfish Creek, we're about to see our fleet arriving. And what's going to be different today is that very few of us are actually going to stop at Gilberts. In fact, we're not even going to dock on the Gilberts dock. We're going to dock on the opposite side of the channel and use a pontoon boat to shuttle us over for lunch. Now remember, because of the size of the group today, 125 boats and about 700 people having lunch, we had to split the lunch stop up into 4 locations altogether. So we've got 1 here in Key Largo and 3 in Marathon altogether. And here's a great shot from down at the water level from aboard our 42-foot Mystic. Sean Stinson at the helm today as the girls get ready for lunch. You know, they got to eat too. Got a shout out to our drone pilot, Travis Nellum today. He's standing on the docks at Gilberts actually doing this flight. So no, we did not fly the helicopter underneath the Jewfish Creek Bridge. Nice shot there of Dr. Jansen in the outer limits as we just kind of putt our way through Jewfish Creek. And again, we're not docking at Gilberts. We're actually docking over to the port side at the anchorage, thanks to the guys there for making the room for us, and using a pontoon boat to shuttle over. You can see the condition of the docks with all the yellow tape. Gilberts is not hosting any big groups here with boats, but they are allowing us to come over here and use the restaurant for lunch. We ended up with about 130 people for lunch here at Gilberts, which is way less than we'd normally do, more like 400 to 500 at times, but they were ready for us with live entertainment. Everyone had a place to sit. The food was fantastic as always, and I think everyone enjoyed the opportunity to stop here at Gilberts, which has really been a landmark stopover with Florida Powerboat Club for probably 20 years or more. Well, I'm sure we would have all loved staying another hour, but we do have another 110 miles to travel as we weave our way through the Florida Keys, stopping off in Marathon and continuing on to Key West. So it's really important to just keep the momentum going. And while we can still enjoy the ride, it's important to remember we still have a fuel stop in Marathon for a lot of these big thirsty cats. They're going to need fuel before they make it to Key West. And of course, there's going to be a lot of boats there ahead of us. Back here with our drone, capturing a few shots as we depart from Gilberts, and it still blows me away that Travis is standing on the docks at Gilberts. He's about a mile away and still managing to get these great shots as we take off. And now we switch from the drone to the helicopter as we catch up now with Lane Christensen, throwing out a great rooster tail. Lane and Chris are on their 52-foot outer limits team, Fast Lane, appropriately named because Lane does like to go fast, and his name is Lane. So you get it, guys? Twin Mercury Racing 1350s pushes this boat to about 140 miles an hour, but they're going to have to slow down a little bit here as we go through these mangrove waterways. In fact, for about the next 15 miles, it's a series of waterways that connect the various bays. It's about the most scenic ride you're going to get going through the Florida Keys. Everyone loves it. This is what makes the Key West Poker Run so special, getting a chance to ride through these mangroves and just really enjoy the scenery. So this is a good chance to just turn up the tunes and let the pictures do the talking as we ride through the Florida Keys. And we've got open water, and that means push the throttles and let's giddy up. Bob and Charlene Lottis doing just that here, all the way from Massachusetts in their brand new SV42 MTI quad. That's right, 4 Mercury Racing 400 Alvarados. Love the paintwork. What a beautiful boat. And it's not until you really get up high here, 300 or 400 feet, that you can see how great these conditions are for the boats as they head further down into the Middle Keys. We're going to break away now and do a little refueling for the helicopter. It's a big, long ride, and this helicopter does burn up a lot of fuel trying to keep up with the speeds that you guys are running. So they've refueled, and I think they're going to stop over now here at the Island Fish Company. This is our second lunch checkpoint. We had about maybe 10 or 15 boats here came for lunch, which worked out well. Anybody who's stopped by here before would agree that this is a wonderful menu. They do a great job, and you can even see their tiki bar roof is kind of falling apart from the recent storm, Hurricane Irma, that went through here in September. I like the setup here. They've got plenty of dockage, enough room for about 30 boats on any given day. Craig Hargreaves and his group here and team spooled up. There it is. She's sitting in cooling off here at the dock. I'm sure they gave her a good run heading down with these Mercury Racing Dual Cal 1550s. What an incredible looking boat. And here's a scene that we're all very familiar with now after about 3 years of being open. Pharaoh Blanco Resort and Marina. Of course, you can't see it, but the Hyatt there in the background. This has become a very popular stopover for the Key West Poker Run and for really all events going down to the Florida Keys. And you can see the fuel truck there pumping the high-octane fuel. All the guys with the 1350s and the 1550s, no doubt getting some racing fuel on board. There's Kenny and the girls, and alongside that new 42 Mystic that belongs to Darryl Cuddle with the cool green graphics. Now, this is also a lunch stop, and in addition to the Lighthouse Grill, which fed probably 150 people, right next door at the Courtyard Marriott, they opened up their rear patio deck, and the catering department there also offered lunch. So this was kind of a dual lunch stopover, and with enough dockage for probably 70 or 80 boats, this was really a well-oiled machine, and I want to thank the staff at Pharaoh Blanco Resort. Looking over here in the background, what's all this commotion? Well, remember, this is another card checkpoint, and we've got the Negotiator representing NextEra Energy Power Marketing, Captain Allen on board, along with Mark Palanchian and all his crew. They're event sponsors, and they have been for several years. And this Negotiator, which is a Leopard, replaces the Mia yacht, which is a 90-foot Eagle. That boat went up on the docks back at Grove Harbor during the storm. Unfortunately, she's not very seaworthy right now, but this girl is. And speaking of the ladies, Florida Powerboat Club made arrangements to get these lovely girls out to the Negotiator to handle the card checkpoint. So this is a bonus card, remember. You're going to get an extra card here at this location. Anybody who got one at Grove Harbor, those extra cards will be in addition to the 5 cards that we are going to hand out in Key West for your normal poker run hand. So if you get these 2 bonus cards, you're playing with a total of 7, which of course increases your odds for a great hand and the chances of winning that $25,000 Mustang convertible offered by our grand prize sponsor, Off Lease Only. Let's welcome Hattie Sweet, one of the girls from Anna Sweet Gallery from Key West. Actually, she's a sister of Anna Sweet, who owns the gallery. And this is her friend Haley Eckert from Fort Lauderdale. This is their first assignment with the club, and we're going to see a lot more of them down in Key West. Now, if you can get a ride on this yacht, I would say it's a pretty hot ticket. I know it's fun to go fast in the power boats and run down, but now you've got a 110-foot motor yacht that's fully equipped with all the food and beverage you can imagine, and this is your front row seat to doing the poker run checkpoint. So I'd say it's a pretty hot seat, and if you're a friend or a client of Mark Palanchian and you're involved in any way with NextEra Energy Power Marketing, this is a ticket to get, because I don't think it gets much better than this, guys. Remember that after this checkpoint, they've got a 50-mile ride from Marathon into Key West in this big motor yacht, and Captain Allen has got it timed perfectly, so they arrive into Key West Harbor exactly during sunset when Mallory Square is coming to life. Now, it turns out that this yacht Negotiator was a big step up from the yacht Mia. We got a chance to ride alongside Negotiator just to say hi to everybody, get a few pictures, and before we knew it, we were going about 40 miles per hour, and she was throwing about a 300-foot rooster tail off her stern. Here's a nice shot as they pass through the Moser Channel underneath the 7-mile bridge, and this is kind of a landmark for everybody as we leave Marathon. We're on the bay side when we leave, and we cut around and turn to port and make our way out into the ocean waters, passing through either Bahia Honda or the Moser Channel at Marathon. Either way, it's a scenic ride, and we've got about 50 miles offshore, and today's conditions are fantastic. Everyone's going to have a very smooth ride as they head south. We're catching up with this Donzi, looks like about a 38 CR. Not sure who this is, you guys, with your decals. You got to get that decal on the deck of the boat so that we can identify you and get you called out here on the video. But if we get a nice shot, we're going to leave you in. But remember, you got to have your decals on the boat. We can't identify you. It makes it very difficult for us to do the magazine coverage and for our editors in the studio to properly identify who your team is. So next time, guys, let's get it done right, and hope to see you back next year. And another new introduction is due here for Richard Regal, all the way from Cleveland, Ohio area, and his brand new Nortec 39 center console powered by triple Mercury 350 Verados. Says he's been watching those YouTube videos for quite a while. He finally got himself a boat that he could bring on the poker run, so I know that he's just pumped up. All the way from Cleveland, they trailered the boat. That's about 1,400 miles last time I checked. So guys, thanks for making the effort, coming all the way to join us for Key West, and we hope you can come back in 2018 and do some more events with Florida Powerboat Club. And sharp contrast from a 39 center console to a 48-foot MTI Cat powered by Mercury Racing 1350s. Jake Nosseman, again, a big supporter of poker runs and a big supporter of the Florida Powerboat Club. Looks like he's staying on the inside here. I see the Moser Channel, the 7 Mile Bridge off in the background, and that's because he knows there's an alternative pass down at Bahia Honda, so he's going to make the cutout at mile marker 37. Seems to be running all by himself out here, and sometimes that's just the best way to do it, guys. And let's welcome Andre Bakkegaard and his crew all the way from Norway. I know that they struggled to get this 337 Predator on the water and here in town for the event. I think they got it off a ship about a few days before the poker run. Congratulations, by the way, guys, on wearing those life jackets. And here's a team that needs no introduction, Little Vengeful. It's the sister ship to the Big Vengeful, which is a 48-foot MTI. Johnny O and Jimmy Mack, as we know them in the club from Long Island, longtime supporters of poker runs and been in the club for, probably 20 years or so. Little Vengeful is a 34 MTI powered by twin Mercury 400 Verados. A great package, a kind of boat that'll run all day at 100 miles an hour. So they ran on Wednesday with the MTI, the big boat, and now they're running on Thursday with the 34. And here is the money shot. That's what I call it anyway. When you can get a shot with the helicopter just coming through the 7 Mile Bridge in the backdrop, that's exactly what Lane Christensen and his lady Chris, you can't see her, she's in there somewhere. That's what they did in their 52-foot outer limits Mercury Racing 1350s. Been running this boat for about 4 years now with the club. What a great looking outer limits. I love the paint and graphics, and they always have a blast when they go on poker runs. A fun, a very spirited team all the way from Texas, and I just wish that they could do more poker runs because they're a great gang to hang out with. And we're now catching up with Matt and Kenny here, the Matt and Kenny Show, Team Downtown 1, 40-foot skater. They actually won the poker run a year ago. They took that Mustang home. I don't know if they kept it. I think they sold it and got a pickup truck or a Jeep or something. But so they're going to hope that their luck is running good as they head for Key West and hang out with the crew and play their poker cards out on Saturday night. Good to have you guys back again. Big supporters of poker runs all over the country, and it's nice to see you guys return to Key West. I mean, why wouldn't you? You won the damn car last year, right? And just a little shuffle over here in the helicopter, running side by side. We're now catching up with Chad and Heather Collier. They're from Tennessee, not far from the Kentucky boys. They're all friends. They boat together up there on Old Hickory. They do a lot of poker runs together. Love this 2017 44 Mystic. Mercury Racing 1350s. Can't do a better engine package than that. We thought that Chad and Heather were going to get out of the Go Fast business and ride around in their Sea Ray, but they said no. We want to have some more fun, so they got themselves another Go Fast boat, and I think they really stepped up to the plate with this ride. Gotta love this boat. And we're now making our way back up into the backwaters. We circled back to pick up some more boats. I think that Craig Hargreaves was hanging out at the Pharaoh Blanco picking up some fuel for this 52 MTI Twin Mercury Racing 1550s. So that is a dual fuel boat. Can run on regular pump gas and can run on race fuel. I hope he squirted some race fuel because that means he's going to be able to throttle up and really push this baby for this final leg, which is 50 miles from Marathon down to Key West. But it seems like Craig, along with a lot of the others, are just chilling out right now, enjoying the scenic ride from Marathon alongside the 7 Mile Bridge. Here's a great shot of that cockpit. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, total of 8 seats in this big MTI cockpit. Hey, there's an empty seat there. I could have went with them. Hey, Craig, next time I'm jumping in, man. And another team that came a long way to attend from Texas, George and Kerry Olson in their 42-foot fountain. And it's not the first time they've been on this run. They've joined us many times. Way back when, I believe it was a Sonic, a 45 Sonic that they ran. And now they're in this twin-engine pair of 5 1/4 EFIs. What a perfect setup and a great poker run boat. And another 42-foot fountain with some beautiful graphics. Love this boat. Don't know much about it. Obviously we're covering all of the registered boats in the run. I think it's a registered boat, but it does not have a decal displayed, so I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope it's one of our guys. And if it's not, if somebody could find him, it looks like it's an Ontario registration, so he's Canadian. Hopefully we can reach out to him and get him on the roster for next year. And here's another couple of boats carving their way on the backwaters from Marathon. That was the 7 Mile Bridge off in the distance, so they're getting ready to head out offshore for the final leg. Neil and Melinda Drickey, their first time with this new MTI on the Key West Poker Run, said they've been watching the YouTube videos. They got bit by the bug and decided it was time to join us. Now, we know, Neil, you could be driving a lot faster, but I'm guessing you're just chilling out, taking your time, and making sure you're doing safe navigation here on the backwaters in the Keys. Now let's say hi to Shane Mulkey, all the way from Louisiana, this 44-foot skater, his first run with the club. Team Fast Money was first launched on the poker run circuit by Chris Bradley a little while back. He had the boat as a temporary fix until he got his new skater. But I don't know, Chris, this boat is pretty sweet. I don't know how you let it out of your hands. Twin Mercury Racing 1350s, beautiful colors, and it looks like they are just having a good time today. Thumbs up to you guys for wearing those life jackets. And it seems like it's a real cat fever going here this afternoon. Several in a row now. This one a 43-foot Nordic. Very, very rare to the Florida Powerboat Club roster. Michael and Travis Smith all the way from California. The boat came here from Lake Havasu. Mercury Racing 1350s. Beautiful orange and silver and white graphics. I love the colors. And once again, guys, a big shout out to you guys for wearing your life jackets. And really, just taking it easy. I can tell that you guys are just chilling right now and cruising along about 65, 70, lining yourself up to pass through the 7 Mile Bridge. That's what we're doing right about now. And then when you get offshore, you got 50 miles of wide open water to hammer down. And speaking of hammer down, here's a guy that I know likes to go fast, Mark Tuck, along with his wife Nancy and their 2 daughters on board today, making the Key West Poker Run a family event. See what I said? As soon as he sees the chopper, down goes those throttles. Mercury Racing 1075s on this 2010 SL44 Outer Limits. Love the paint, love the sound of those 1075s. You gotta love them. They're so much louder than the new 1350s, but there's still a few guys around in the club with these big V8s that still roar like thunder, and I really do enjoy hearing that. They came a long way to attend, 950 miles on a trailer to be here. Thanks again. Mark's been a long-time supporter of the Florida Powerboat Club. He's done this run so many times I've lost track, but nice to see the Tuck family making this a family outing for the Key West Poker Run. Well, we are just wrapping things up here for our episode number 4 featuring the 25th annual Key West Poker Run. When we come back in episode 5, we'll have full coverage of all of the activities here in Key West and plenty more of incredible offshore powerboats making their way from that great trip from Miami down through the scenic Florida Keys to Key West. We're all celebrating the 25th annual Key West Offshore Poker Run. Please join us on the next episode. This is Stu Jones. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you on the next episode of Powerboating in Paradise with members of the Florida Powerboat Club. If you want to know more about the club, you can go online at flpowerboat.com. Also, if you love getting these videos, and there are a lot of them coming out in the coming weeks, be sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Florida Powerboat Club. And if you're on Instagram or Facebook, Facebook is FL Powerboat, and on Instagram we have 4 channels altogether: FL Powerboat, Stu FPC, FPC Girls, and of course the new Emerald Coast Powerboat. Please follow us, and we hope to see you soon on the next powerboating adventure with the members of FPC. Bye for now.